Hi, this is Chandrasekhar. Uh, we will be talking today about the sixth bhava of the natal chart. So, what does it represent? As we have seen, this is the time personified. If we look at time personified, that is Kala Purusha, which can be always extrapolated onto the Jataka's body. Then the sixth bhava is the region around one's navel and the backside. So the area around where the kidneys are located at the back and the entire west is covered under the sixth bhava. This sixth bhava is also bhava or the house which is representative of your enemies, your diseases, your pet and other animals that you keep, and those who are lower than you in your job or service. They call it dasi or dasa, that is your servants. But in modern periods or modern times, we can look at it even as those people who are working in your office or your business, who are at a lower stage than yours, much lower stage than yours. So, the sixth bhava also represents your enemies, the maternal relatives. Now, why maternal relatives and enemy is always something which has made me think, and then the reason is very clear that it is more specifically your maternal uncle, because sixth house is third from the fourth house. Fourth house, as we have seen, represents mother. Now, mother's brother would be represented by the bhava which is third from the fourth house. As we have seen, the third from our own, the Jataka's Lagna, which represents Jataka. The third bhava is his younger brother or brothers at large. Generally all brothers, but more specifically the younger brother. Similarly, the sixth bhava is brother of his mother, so more particularly the maternal relatives, but it is also relatives as such. So even paternal relatives could be seen from the sixth bhava, though you can always see the uncle who is just younger to your father from the 11th bhava, which is the third from the 9th bhava. 9th bhava represents the father of the Jataka. So we are digressing, but this is just to give an idea of how to look at relatives and other things. All those who can serve you are also seen from the sixth bhava. That is why even your pets and the animals, draught animals like bullocks or horses are all seen from the sixth bhava. Now this sixth bhava is also related to litigations. As we can see, since it relates to enemies, it also relates to litigation. Now, this is also called as the bhava of sickness, the roga sthana. Roga means disease. So this bhava can also indicate the diseases that a person is likely to suffer. This is also sometimes referred to being six is a figure, and we call ripus means shatru, the enemies. And since there are six enemies prescribed in the Hindu scriptures like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsara, and so on. So 6 type of negatives that we have, which are the desires, the anger, jealousy, and then wanting to possess something of somebody else's, so getting something from others. All these are represented by sixth bhava, is what is generally nowadays being said. To my mind, it is primarily a disease. Because that is what troubles you, and for some time, and it is all those problems are generally related to problems created by the self. And so we can always say that sixth bhava, if there are diseases which are indicated by the sixth bhava, there is a possibility that your own actions can change it to some extent, or even repair it to some extent. So many a time those diseases could be lifestyle diseases, or diseases because of your the food that you eat, your eating habits and other habits, So all these are to be seen from the sixth bhava. It is also bhava for hard work, which is generally forgotten. People forget that sixth bhava also represents hard work, and that is why not only Mars but Saturn, the servant in the planetary cabinet, uh, is also Karaka, secondary Karaka for the sixth bhava. Now what happens is, if malefics are aspecting this sixth bhava, then generally the enemies will get destroyed. So malefics in the sixth bhava are supposed to be good. However, one must understand that everything is to be taken into proper perspective. So for enemies to be destroyed, in the first place there has to be enemies. So it's not all hunky-dory, but yes, enemies do get destroyed. Of course, there would be some relation to the actions of the Jataka with the destruction of the enemies, but we say that planets will take care of them, don't fight, because enemies will be there, but they will be overcome. And but the negative part is the malefics there can also indicate the diseases that can be attracted by the body of that Jataka. So we have to balance between the two to come at the right conclusion. Now what happens with benefics aspect, the sixth bhava, will be another question that naturally comes into play. That will benefics protect the enemies? Yeah, they could, not necessarily, but a benefic like Jupiter sitting there, and Jupiter is supposed to harm the house he occupies, or at least not protect the house that he occupies, would be still good there. But their aspects or presence of benefics can also indicate diseases indicated by those planets. So for example, if Jupiter occupies the sixth house, especially in case of ladies, or Jupiter aspects the sixth house, there could be ovarian cysts, because Jupiter has certain other characteristics which is called gulma, anything which grows is there. And in case of male or even female, it could be diabetes, perhaps caused because of stress, because this is brought upon oneself. It is not necessarily something coming from hereditary tendencies of diabetes, as they call it, though astrology has a very different way of looking at heredity. It says that if the planet, the chart is XYZ, then those genes will express, otherwise those genes will not express, perhaps. If we want to talk in the scientific terms. So this is the sixth bhava, and we must understand that that is also a bhava of jobs, as it represents those who work under you. It also represents the Jataka himself working somewhere. So when we look at whether a person will be doing some job or service at somebody else's place, even then you can look at the sixth house, and the planets influencing it can indicate the area or the industry or the specific work pattern that could be involved in his service. It would also naturally, like suppose Sun is aspecting, it could be government service, or that person can himself be a politician, because Sun is both the king and also work of the king. Both are to be seen from Sun, but we will go into that later. And now this is bhava and the west, one must remember that it is around the navel that sixth bhava operates. After stomach and up to navel is the area of sixth bhava. Below that is Basti, about which we will talk when we look at the seventh bhava in the next lecture that I will do. And then how to interpret it is always a problem. But what happens is, many a times people, how can I put it, let us see, misinterpret the meaning of what is being indicated by the chart. For example, sixth bhava is also called the Trikasthana, the three negative places. So three negatives is 6th, 8th and 12th are supposed to be houses which are inimical. To whom? To naturally Jataka. But are they inimical is something you must look at it in the proper. Sixth is also the Upachaya Sthana, where growth happens. Now what are the Upachaya Sthanas? I have not talked about it because I think most of the astrologers will know, but since the subject has come up, let us find out what is so special about sixth house that I am talking more at length, let us put it, or trying to bring out more flavors of the sixth house so that people understand, is it is also the Upachaya Sthana. Upachaya means growth. Anything that grows is called Upachaya, or a place where growth occurs is Upachaya. So 3, 6, 10th and 11th. These 4 places are called the Upachayas, where growth occurs. Third house is brothers and your valor, which always grows with age, because as you grow older you may have more younger brothers. As you grow older you become more valorous. When you are a kid, you don't go and fight with everybody. You understand that you don't have the strength to do it, so your valor, though it is there, it is not expressed, it grows with age. Sixth is house of work, also diseases. Diseases also grow. Your hard work can grow, so growth can come from the sixth house. 10th house is Karma Sthana, the house of career, or whatever work you do, what profession you do. Obviously there is growth, it is a natural growth. Similarly 11th is the Labha Sthana, the house of profits. So naturally profits increase over time. It is second to 10th, so whatever you work for, the wealth of that work is always represented by the 11th house. So these are all Upachaya Sthana. Now, is everything good if it grows? So if enemies are there, yeah, they will cause problem to you. And if disease is there, it can grow. But if you look at all those 4 things, you can see that growth or that upachaya has to do with yourself. The Jataka himself, his actions would decide whether growth would be there or would not be there. So these are the things, especially the 6 bhava negatives, can be converted to positive or good things by proper application of mind. So for example, as I was saying, if Lord of the 9th house goes to the 6th house, the general concept is a good Lord of a good sthana going to Trika sthana, the 6, 8, 12, would generally damage that bhava. So his fortune must be damaged, isn't it? That would be the normal interpretation if we look at it in a monocular fashion, not taking everything into consideration, but only considering in a very small and thin area of how to look at charts. But since it is also the 6th bhava of Upachaya, this person can gain fortune by hard work indicated by the 6th bhava. This is how an astrologer should advise a person. Instead of scaring off and saying that your fortune is lost because your lord of the fortune is in the 6th house, because he must also understand that the 9th house, not the 5th house, the lord of the 9th house is in the 6th house, and one should also understand the 9th also represents the father of the Jataka. So it is not as if the 9th lord goes to 6th, the father will die or he will be always, will have some disease or always sickly. It is more probable that the person will be away from his father and with hard work can grow, make a name for himself, make a career for himself or herself. I must remember not to be accused of misogyny because of only saying he, but remember that in Sanskrit he also includes she. We have Lord Shiva, whose form is Ardhanari Nateshwar, that is half part is woman and half is male, and both these things are in one. That is the dancing Nataraja, as we call it, or whatever. So Ardhanari Nateshwar is the concept in Hinduism. We don't basically treat man and woman as separate entities. We think they are reflections of each other. Rather, a couple or some joint which together can only produce something. Nobody can produce anything independently. These are complementary things. So when I say male, or I say he, or I say even she, take it, unless it is I am talking about mother or I am talking about father, then of course the sexes would be male and female, or female and male. But please understand this, that in Sanskrit, never think that when something is being said about male, it doesn't apply to female. If you read more about the astrotext or more astrological text, you will find that there would be yogas which say that if this cannot happen in case of woman, then this yoga will be opted by her husband, because ultimately she is supposed to enjoy it. And so if she is not a working lady and she has a good chart, her husband will profit from it, or her father, wherever she is, that person who is doing the karma will profit from that because of her bhagya. So having said that, I hope this is enough for the sixth bhava, and in the next lecture we will look at seventh bhava, which interests many people because it is also the bhava for spouse. And so here is Chandrasekhar signing off again, and I hope that you like the lectures and go on writing to me. I see people are giving good comments, and even if there is something that I am committing, suppose I am committing a mistake, just point it out to me. I would appreciate that so that I can improve. And as you can see, the green screen is still behind me. I have not yet got the hang of how to remove it and replace it with something else. But I am sure you will bear with me. And thank you very much. See you in the next lecture on the seventh bhava. Bye.